Inmate firefighters. Hey, this is Billy Goldfeder answering some questions from you as part of the What's Your Problem series, hosted by FireRescue1.com and Lexipol. And here's today's question. What do you think about inmates being allowed to be firefighters? I think, or I feel like I'm seeing this more and more in the news. I love this question because it's one I think about as well. You know, there are a couple of states, and two I absolutely can think of instantly, and that's Georgia as well as California, where they use incarcerated inmates as part of firefighting teams. Well, first of all, these inmates have to go through a process where they're accepted to provide, they're low risk, they're good citizens within the system. They're well behaved and they're motivated to help and serve, right? So I don't know that your question is about that. I'm thinking more that because inmate firefighting has been around for decades, I think you're more wondering when they get out of prison, should they be able to serve as firefighters? And like a lot of things, my answer is it depends. If it's somebody who has committed a minor crime, where perhaps they broke some trust but they've regained it, why wouldn't we want to consider them as firefighters? On the other hand, if it's a violent type crime, or someone who's been involved in some terrible event, that's really we have to wonder about that, because as much as that person may be a wonderful person, and I'm sure they're out there, we still have to instill trust within the fire department. Now, we'll get back to that in just a second, but I also want to point something else out. How many of your fire departments do background checks? And I don't mean just a quick license check. I mean a background check where the either a private investigation firm or law enforcement thoroughly goes through to make sure that this person we're bringing on to the fire department meets the needs of the community. Notice I'm not saying whether you committed a crime or not. That's a local issue, okay? I'm saying, what kind of people do you want on your fire department? And quite frankly, I guarantee you there are some folks that have committed crimes, have paid their debt back to society, and are doing very, very well, and are probably more trustworthy and harder working than perhaps some people in your own fire department. Okay, so I'm not being mean to either side of that group or either, but I think in this day and age, as we continue also to see people less and less interested in our profession, we're not lowering standards, but we're reevaluating standards to see, what, is there any reason why that person should not be trusted to operate in a fire department? And again, it's a local question. If they're responding as a part of inmate response, then what would the difference be? And some might say, well, they're under tighter supervision, and maybe there's a guard on the fire truck. I don't know. My point is, keep an open mind. Consider each individual situation. Just like every fire you go to, you size it up to make a decision on how you're going to handle it. We need to size up our hiring as well. Hire the individuals based upon standards, based upon laws, okay, but based upon the need of the community. So the question is, would that person make a good firefighter in your community? And like any applicant to any fire department, checking out the background is critical. What's important is, what makes them yes or no when you go through that background check? What's the criteria for saying, nope, sorry, you're not qualified? Is the fact that they committed a crime a qualification to pull them off the potential of being hired? So my thoughts are, I think it's well worth a look. Perhaps there's no better person than somebody who's done something wrong and has learned that lesson, versus people who perhaps not gotten caught and perhaps don't necessarily have the best reputation, are not good for the morale in the organization, are not well behaved, whereas maybe somebody who's been incarcerated may be a better choice. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm saying it's a local issue and one that is very, very much deserving of consideration. Hey, thanks very much for that question. That's one of great interest. And for those inmates and those who've been incarcerated, who've been through the process and have been, they're forgiven. They've paid their debt to society. and they're changed people because people can change. I wish you the best, and I hope that you are, since you're already fighting fires, I hope you're able to get that in as a career at some fire department or agency that understands and is willing to give you a shot. Well, hey, email Fire Rescue One your questions. I'll be glad to help you find the solutions to whatever you're facing, or I'll connect you to somebody that maybe has some good answers for you, okay? Thanks so much. Take care.